Hey everybody, it's Kyle, coming at you from the basement studio, actually recording on the rebuilt Mac Pro cheese grater, so got that going for me, which is nice. Sorry it was a little late this week on the episode. A lot was going on. We did something that if you can, I would suggest you do it, which is refinance the house, not extending any loan or anything like that, but just for the better rates. We got pretty crazy interest rate right now because, everything that's been going on. And so we had to have the house appraised. Therefore, we had to really clean up the basement. Over the years, things have accumulated and it got pretty big and pretty bad. And so I took a couple days off earlier in the week, and between last weekend and that, we got that rectified. So it's pretty nice to have a nice clean space now down here, no doubt. So if nothing else, it actually did work out. We got a great appraisal and everything, but in addition to that, if nothing else, we really needed to get it done. So the fact that it was spurred on by this is, who cares? But that explains why the podcast is a little late this week. So I'm going to get right into it. So things that are bugging me. Well, a real easy one would be start out probably with me saying this. I told you so. And that is people opened up too soon. They opened everything back up a little too soon, and now we have these mass amounts of people that are coming down with coronavirus every single day. It's kind of gotten crazy. Now, I know there's some opposing views on what this could be or how this could be, blah, 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 blah. But plain, short, simple truth of it is that, we can wear masks when we go out in public, people. You don't have to wear it when you're walking. I keep seeing people doing that. What are you doing, dude? Protecting the grass from coronavirus? I don't get that. But when you go grocery shopping, when you go into a store or whatever, wear a mask. It's not even for you, man. It's for everybody else. That's why I wear one. They sell them everywhere now. They sell reusable ones. We got some, I think it was at Target, for pretty reasonable. You wear it, you wash it, you wear it again. This is just common sense, but somehow this has turned into a political deal, which I don't understand why it is. It's science. It's plain, cold, hard truth. If we all wear masks out and about, this virus will start to die off, and it will, we won't have a situation like now where we've got these hot spots again, and people are getting this, younger people now, and people will die because of it, I promise. It may be different numbers, it may be less people, less of a percentage or whatever, but it doesn't matter. There's stories everywhere of people that went to a party or to an event or something, and now I saw one with, I think it was a birthday party, and now 18 people that went to this birthday party have it. It's like, it's just not worth it, man. And we have to be realists on this stuff. And I do hear a lot of people complain, and it is a bummer that, kids haven't been able to graduate from school and situations like that. It sucks. And, my son starts high school next year. My daughter starts junior high. I'm praying that they can, go be a part of school like it's supposed to be. But I can tell you this, if you fucking dumbasses don't start wearing masks, they won't be able to. So put a goddamn mask on, quit moaning and bitching about it, and deal with it. It's not a burqa. It's not anything against your freedom, and it's not fucking political, man. It's just common sense. And I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of these shitheads trying to spin it other ways. If you think shit like that, turn it off. Do not listen to this podcast again, because you are a fucking moron. I think that's about as straightforward and honest as I can be about it. It's got nothing to do with you loving Donald Trump or Republicans or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with that. It is about people being smart in a situation that's very dangerous. And people will die as a result of you being a fucking hardhead. So quit it. All right. So that's all the more I have to say on that. Just so you know, I'm not the only one that thinks that. The Texas and Florida governors, they ordered bars to close down. And they've also imposed restrictions. This happened today. It is Friday. So a couple days late on the podcast. But there's no question that this has to happen. And there's no question that some people have reopened too soon. We love to go to Navarre Beach every single year. That's our vacation, and we love it. We are not going this year. And it's not because I don't like Donald Trump, but let me repeat that. I don't like Donald Trump. It's because it's dangerous. And even if it's not going to get me sick or my kids sick, I could get somebody else sick and not even know it. I mean, that's the plain cold hard truth about it. You know, there were dipshits during the Spanish flu as well, and a lot of people died. We have a lot of people that have died so far. Let's try not to be dipshits. Let's try to be a little bit better off than where we were in 1918. How's that sound? But yeah, it's largest daily increase was yesterday or 2 days ago, I believe. Largest daily increase in new virus cases. Now, they are testing more people than ever, even though I've heard that if you don't test, you won't have as many positive cases. It's kind of weird. Oh, interesting theory. But they are testing more people. So more people are going to come up positive. There's no doubt about it. More people are going to come up negative too, by the way, when you test more. But, you know, it doesn't explain away. The only logical conclusion here is that people are amassing and they don't need to be right now. That's what's causing this to reignite. And this is still phase 1 of this, by the way. Phase 2 is not going to be until this fall. So I keep hearing people say that too. Oh, you know, this must be phase 2 of this. Nope, this is phase 1. It's just been a really long phase 1 because we allowed our education system in this country to be depleted to next to nothing while militarizing our police for the past 3 or 4 decades. So this is phase 1 of this virus. This is not phase 2. Phase 2 will be this fall and winter. So, and it's coming too, by the way. And the only way to really eradicate this or slow this down overall is to wear masks in public. Okay? It's that plain, cold, hard, simple truth. All right. So I'm going to go to the break real quick. I'm going to come back. I got a lot of stuff to talk about as far as things I'm into right now. So bear with me, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll catch you right after the break. Hey, Kyle. All right, we're back. Let's see. What am I into? Well, as you all know, last weekend was Father's Day on Sunday. And though we had this purge of the basement and some other cleaning around the house in order to get this good appraisal, we did make it out on Sunday for some Father's Day fun. And I can tell you, where do you think I would go if I had the choice? Yes, you're correct, a record store. So I went to Josie Records right here in Kansas City and found some real gems, some things that I've been after and some things I didn't know I was after, but ultimately was. So I'll kind of go through those real quick with you and discuss those. The first thing I found when I got there was something I've looked at several times, and that is Yes Songs by Yes. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but long story short, it's a live album. It's actually 3 records in here, but it's kind of a greatest hits album, and it's from way back in 1973. So greatest hits we're talking about, you know, we're talking about Perpetual Change, and we're talking about Roundabout, all good people, you know, Long Distance Run Around the Fish, Starship Trooper, that kind of stuff. So very early, Yes. But a greatest hits nonetheless. And a very good sounding recording for a live album as well. Get that one. If you like Yes, that's a good one for you. Coincidentally, my son, who loves Yes, picked up 90125. I have a copy already, but he really liked that album. I didn't know he did. It's a different Yes album, less hippie-ish, I guess. And so we got him a copy of that. He was pretty happy with that. So let's see some other ones. The next album I saw where I was like, oh man, I got to get this. And I'll put imagery up of these albums. But basically, it's got a weird title. It just says music from Battlestar Galactica and other original compositions from Giorgio Moroder. And it's pretty weird. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in the late 70s or so, they seemed like they took and they made a disco version of everything that existed. So if you haven't heard like Fifth of Beethoven, that's Beethoven's Fifth concerto. I believe it's a concerto. Anyway, that's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. That's what it is. But they did that one in a disco version. So it was like, you know, it was kind of that, had that disco, cheesy disco vibe to it, but it was Beethoven. They also did the same with like movie soundtracks. So one of the most common ones would be Star Wars. Mako, M-E-C-O is the artist's name, but did this kind of jazzy, disco-y version of Star Wars music. So there's the da-da, da-da-da-da-da, you know, and it was kind of discoed out. Well, this is Battlestar Galactica stuff that's very similar, man. You know, and it's an extremely risque picture on the cover of this. This art on this album cover is insane. It looks like it was painted or drawn by C.W. Taylor. So don't blame me on that part, but it's a Casablanca record. They were kind of the disco record studio, Casablanca Records was. So that one is a trip. I kind of had to have it as soon as I saw it because it's a real strange looking record. It's really different. Next, I came across some Zebra albums. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Zebra or not, but Zebra, I think it's just a trio actually, but they had Tell Me What You Want, you know, that song. That was a big song. I think that was their first one off their first album, their first single. But it's kind of hard to explain, but their lead singer, man, that dude can screech. Felix Hanneman is his name. And they became famous because I think they were playing some clubs and stuff, and somebody called a record producer friend of theirs and said, hey man, you got to get over and see these guys. I mean, they do Zeppelin better than Zeppelin does, was kind of the way that they explained them. And I don't know about that, but I mean, they do Zeppelin really well. I've heard, I think they did a cover album of Zeppelin stuff, but you know, they're really interesting, and they're kind of a different kind of band. I fell in love with them a long time ago. I've always liked them. I can't only listen to too much. It's kind of like I love Rush too, and Led Zeppelin, but the voices after a while kind of get a little screechy. These guys are no exception to that. So the first one I got was No Telling Lies, and that has Wait Until the Summer's Gone as a big song, and No Telling Lies, of course. And then Bears, which is a really good tune. I love that song. It's a really good one. But I had this LP when I was a kid, and I loved it. I think I got it at like Alco or something, but I loved this record. Now, this is actually a promotional copy. So I was lucky to kind of come across that. It's in really good shape. I love that one. And then I also, since I saw that one, I was like, wow, I wonder if they have 3.5, because that's my favorite Zebra album. Sure enough, they've got it. So I grabbed that as well. Absolutely love that. Every song on that album is a hit to me. Love it. Okay, so the next album that I got is something I always kind of look at, but I've seen dozens of copies of this over time, and they always either just have, the cover's so shredded, and I think even the original cover of this, by the way, that we had when I was a kid was shredded. I think a dog got to it or something. Or the album is all scratched up. I know it was at one record store, and they had like 5 copies. Every one of them was kind of screwed up. That is Tubular Bells by Mike Oldfield. If you're not familiar with what that is, If you've ever seen the film The Exorcist, that song, that is Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. They used that in the film as part of the soundtrack. But it's an amazing record. And, since this first one that he put out, which I believe was, 1973 also, 72, 73. Weird, I got a couple albums from those years. But it's a type of bell. It's a bell. It looks kind of like a triangle almost, and it's a tube that's folded like a triangle, and he plays that. But he also plays every instrument on this album, I believe, if I remember correctly. But he also went on to make multiple versions of Tubular Bells. So in the early 90s, there was Tubular Bells 2, and then I think he did Tubular Bells 3, and then another one after that. But the 2 I had heard, I had the CD of that forever, and just listened to the hell out of that and loved it while I was studying and stuff. It's just music. There's no real singing. But it reminds me a lot of like a score to a film or something like that. But yeah, I love it. If you've never listened to Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells, highly recommend it. And I've also gone on and listened to some of his other music since kind of falling back in love with Tubular Bells. And he's done a bunch, man. He's got a lot of great music out there. You should check him out if you get a chance. Very talented guy. And then last but not least, I came across this one. I had to buy it because, man, I mean, this album cover is in cherry condition, and the records are too. But this would be the Saturday Night Fever original movie soundtrack. I mean, look, this is a classic, and if you haven't heard Saturday Night Fever soundtrack before, then I don't know what to tell you. I bet you've heard it in some form or another. There's so many tunes on there. Let me just kind of go through. I mean, it's mostly a Bee Gees album. They did the soundtrack for it, but Staying Alive, of course, by them. How Deep Is Your Love? Night Fever. And then, what else did they do on here? You Should Be Dancing's a big one. Jive Talking. And then Yvonne Elliman did If I Can't Have You. Oh, look, there's a Fifth of Beethoven by Walter Murphy, just like I was telling you earlier, where they discoized songs, music before, Fifth of Beethoven. And then Open Sesame by Kool and the Gang. I love that one. But I used to listen to that album all the time, too, when I was a kid. So it's a good one. It's one I can put on when we're cooking or something in the kitchen, and we just dance around. It's fun. So, and then this week also, I got my second shipment from hashtag VN or VY, no, VNYL, hashtag VNYL vinyl, where they pick out 3 records for me based upon my interests. My Spotify's linked to it, my Discogs, and other things. And based upon that, they pick out 3 records and send it to me every month. So this is the end of the trial. The trial was buy 1 month, get 1 free. So like $20 per month, but it's normally $40 per month. So I'm signed up for 1 more month just for the heck of it, but then I think I'm going to pause after that. But I do like what they sent me. They sent me 3 different ones here. The first one is an EP, but boy, this has got to be one of the longest EPs I've ever heard. I mean, there's like 11 tracks on here, but it's it's rap, it's hip hop by Black Milk, and it's the Dive EP. Really good stuff. I totally love that. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to put it on after I get done here. The next one they sent me is Christian Bland, and it's called Christian Bland and the Revelators. And this one is called Pigboat Blues. And they did this one because of my interest in Pink Floyd. So this sounds like very early Pink Floyd, like, mid 60s or so Pink Floyd. It's pretty wild, man. Syd Barrett type sound to it, actually. And then another one they sent me is by My Goodness, and it is called Scavengers. I like that one as well. Definitely kind of newer alternative style music, but I dig it. It's got a good sound to it. Still waiting on my Run the Jewels 4 album. I don't think that's even coming out till September. They're not printing those until then. And then I also saw Prince, the Prince Estate or whatever. They're putting out a new version of Sign of the Times, which is my very favorite Prince album. So they've gone back and remastered it from the original tapes and everything. There's like a deluxe edition that's like $300 or some crazy shit like that. It's like 13 LPs. I don't need that. I just like the tracks that are on the record, and there's a reason they made the final record. I may not get that at all, to be honest with you, because I like the record the way it is. I just don't see ponying up some cash for anything different, even though the basic remastered edition is like $35. That's not too bad. So a couple peach colored albums, kind of neat. Even though I don't like colored vinyl, but 2 out of 3 of these albums they sent me through vinyl are colored vinyl. Yeah. Oh well. Let's see, what else am I into right now? Still reading that supermarket book. Haven't really picked it up much lately, but I did get Jane Goes North by Joe R. Lansdale. And I'm threatening to read that. I got it on Kindle, and found the Kindle when I was moving stuff around. That's the other thing I was going to tell you guys. Man, I found so much stuff I want to talk to you about in a second. But anyway, got that on there, and I need to read that. I really like Joe Lansdale's stuff. And there's a couple other Happen Leonard books that I need to check out of his that have come out. I haven't had a chance to read, so I will read those. Happen Leonard is joy to read. So comics, haven't really read much there. I think I said something about Gideon Falls. I need to catch up on that. It's really good. Okay. And let's see, movies. Nothing new really in the way of movies. I mean, there's that one with Kevin Bacon where it's You Should Have Stayed, or I can't remember what it's called. It's a horror film, and I'm kind of interested in watching that, but there's not much else that I can think of off the top of my head. We did watch Grown Ups last night with the kids. That's a corny Adam Sandler film. But, yeah, it's fun. It was a good, fun movie to watch with them. They thought it was hilarious, and unfortunately that probably means we're going to have to watch Grown Ups too, but oh well, such is life. TV shows, Schitt's Creek, of course. Kim's Convenience, we've watched a couple more of those. Really like that show too. And that's about it, man. I can't really think of much else. While we were cleaning and moving things and purging the house of things, did come across a few things that, I forgot existed. And probably one of the most interesting is my son and I were throwing some stuff out and putting it into the back of the vehicle. I made 5 trips to the dump. Not just for the dump either. A couple trips were purely recycling. But yeah, and it's not a big SUV. It's a Dodge Journey, but still, that sucker was packed to the hilt each time we went. So that was a lot of stuff that we got out of here. But we were packing it up to leave for one time, and I looked down, something dropped on the ground, a piece of paper or whatever. And I picked it up, and on the back, it was kind of muddy on one part. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Opened it up, and it is a map of Ennis Cave in northern Arkansas. In 2001, I went there with some friends, and we went spelunking. And it was a crazy trip in a lot of ways. But yeah, I had the cave. So I immediately took a picture of it and sent it to my buddy who went with us on that trip. And he was like, whoa, that's nuts. And it just kind of brought back a lot of memories. It's kind of cool. I think I have some footage of, I made a music video, I believe, for that trip. I'll have to see if I can find that. It was kind of crazy. But we had a great time, man. And so that kind of brought that back. Found a lot of pictures over the ages, and that was kind of fun to look at all those too. But yeah, it's it's just good to have the basement organized and have kind of my ducks in a row, and have this office area here be a little cleaner and in order. Especially with the new Mac Pro and all that stuff. I like to have it look nice and show it off. And so I would feel comfortable with people coming over and hanging out down here and recording a podcast. We have a big screen TV down here, but it's pretty much worthless at this point. It's an old one. It's one of the first ones, HD TV, big screens. Mitsubishi Diamond Vision. It's worth zero vision now. But it's so old, it doesn't even have a tuner. You had to have a tuner box for it. We had satellite when we first moved in here. And so we're going to actually get that out of here, and we're going to replace it with the TV we have in the front room now, 4K TV. That's actually bigger. And I think was like, I don't know, 20% of the cost of what this TV was. But, and then we're going to put a new one upstairs. But it give the kids an area to play video games and do stuff like that, watch movies and hang out down here. And, you know, we want to finish this basement. We probably will. Probably not next year, but maybe the year after, because that's a lot of money and preparation. But, you know, it's good. It's good to have it open. And, you know, it's a nice basement. We've had zero water issues. We've had zero problems with bugs or any invasive. We did have what was it we had? I think it was a raccoon issue, but that was on top of the house and going into the siding at one time. But yeah, it's just kind of nice to have it all cleaned up and in some order and have my things up, kind of showing off some of the stuff that I have and some of the cool things. You know, I found a box from my first iPhone. So the first iPhone, I found that box and some other things like that I just kind of put up to show off and stuff. So it's kind of fun to have that stuff up and be able to look around at it and things like that. I am doing some more reviews. I've done a few. I did one for a capture card that I'm going to go ahead and probably keep because I can actually use my 4K camera, video camera / photo camera for a webcam. So I'm going to try and do that. And then I also did, what else did I do recently? Did that one. Oh man, I don't even remember. That's crazy. I did do an NVMe external hard drive too, and actually that's what I'm recording to right now. But it's by RavPower. Used products by them before, so that was kind of cool to have that as well. Oh, I did some earbuds. That were actually, I want to say those things were like $35. They're better than some I bought maybe a year and a half before that were like $150. These things are better. Now, the recharging case is plastic, whereas the old one was metal. I wish it was vice versa. But these things go for like 10 hours at a time, and you just pop them back in the recharging case, and you can recharge them 4 or 5 times before you have to plug in the case. So they're pretty awesome. I really love those. And I'll put a link up to the review on those as well. And any other reviews that I'm talking about if I have them done. The NVMe external terabyte drive, that just came yesterday. So it's probably going to be a while before I have that one up. I have to review it after all and use it. That's about it, guys. Not much else going on. I did download and install OpenCore on this Mac Pro. Still running Mojave on here, but I don't see a reason to go up to Catalina. Mojave works fine. Final Cut Pro, everything works good on this. I'm not going to screw it up by trying to upgrade. I don't need the latest OS. Doesn't matter to me. That's not what this machine is for, so I'm not going to sweat it. But OpenCore is pretty interesting, and it definitely opened up the video card. I mean, I got 8 gigs of video memory on this card. I need to use them. So it definitely opened that up, and I got higher benchmarking tests on Cinebench, Geekbench, Lux, and Heaven. All of those, I got higher scores as soon as I put OpenCore on this. So highly recommend that. I'm part of a couple different groups now on Facebook that are all about these cheese grater Macs and updating them and stuff. And now I'm even part of an OpenCore group. So it's kind of an interesting deal, but I'm having a lot of fun with this Mac, and it's a great machine. So that's about it, guys. Oh, I know one thing I found. This is really funny. When we were cleaning out some boxes, I found my wife's Matchbox 20 fan club card. Yes, she was part of the Matchbox 20 fan club. I'm just joking around, man. I think that's pretty cool. I've been a fan, I've been in some fan clubs before. Yeah, let's see. This thing was started 11/15/2001 is when she became a member. But it's pretty funny. It's just funny when you look back at things and you see just places you were at certain times in your life. It's kind of interesting to see how that all pans out. But, it was a struggle and it was a pain and it sucked and we were tired and all that shit. But I'll tell you what, man, I feel a million times better now with the way things are. And I've got definitely more of a sense of pride in my home and of having the ability to maybe have some buddies over and have a beer. We're going to be doing that this weekend for sure. My buddy PP is coming over because I need to replace the steps on the pool deck. They finally kind of gave out, so I'm tearing those out after I'm done working. And then I'm going to go get the stringers and all the parts and everything, and we're going to build those starting tomorrow morning, Saturday. I even got him some silver bullets to help feed him while he's here. Feed him some vitamin B. I got myself some Sol. You know me, I like Mexican lager. But anyway, he's going to help me do that and get that all set up. So that should be a little bit nicer too when we're done with that. But it's just little things like that, just here and there. He's going to help me because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to things like that. I mean, if I was setting up a network for you or a sound system or, home theater system or something like that, I could do that, But when it comes to repairing things with wood and just, I don't know, man. And you can look that shit up and follow instructions and you might be able to get away with it sometimes, but this is a little more advanced than that. So I enlisted my man. He actually offered and he's going to help us out with that and we'll get that taken care of tomorrow. So make that a little safer because I skinned the living crap out of my shin going up those stairs when the stair gave out. So, yeah, they need to be fixed. Anyway, that's about it, guys. That's all I got this week. I know, pretty uneventful, not super exciting. But I'll be back next week with a new episode in a more timely fashion. I appreciate you listening. Keep on keeping on. Be safe. Wear a mask. Be smart. Okay? Quit worrying about politics. Nobody gives a shit. All right? So just take care of yourself, you and yours, and be cognizant of others and whatever you can do to be a good human being. And I will catch you guys next week. One more thing you can do as a good human being is to get off my lawn.